I'm just focused on my goals and my grand visions. That's just how it's supposed to go for a man driven. Trying to make this transition through this damn mission till I break the transmission of the damn engine. The wheels rolling.
Again, it's on.
Yeah.
Your boy Chiblizz, the crown holder.
And it's your girl, IconicTaj.
And welcome to Come Smoke With Me. The podcast, man. Brought to you by Support Your Local Weed, man. Big ups to the Prohibition THC Cafe. Taj, how you feeling?
I am feeling fantastic.
You look like you're glowing over there.
I am.
You know, Taj,
I am. What's the word?
I got a little gripe with you today. You know, I'm your big homie.
Okay.
You know, I love how you roll blunts and all that. Taj, you didn't tell me about this this tea that y'all have here. You know what I'm talking about? You know, they got a little bit of everything here at the Prohibition THC Cafe.
Okay.
This mint tea with the infusion thing.
Well,
I opted for chill.
Okay.
I went past low, went to chill because it was like 5 other levels.
Okay.
Let's say right now I'm having like a inner outer body experience right now. You know what I'm talking about? So yeah, I'm lit.
Hey man, hey. Now one thing I will say: do not underestimate the product.
I did, and
It'll take you somewhere you ain't even know you can go.
I didn't even know, but it's a great place. Let's just say that I'm not mad at it.
Yeah, for sure.
Man, let's introduce our dope guest over here. I'm talking about. We finally got a lady on the platform.
Hey.
First and foremost,
What's the word?
Artist, podcaster. I just found out she a DJ. You know what I'm saying?
I just found that out too.
We gonna find out everything else she got going on. Put your hands together, give it up. Vicki Street, voice of the street.
What's good, y'all? Thanks for having me.
What's the word?
How you feeling?
I'm good. Y'all done got me already.
Uh-oh.
We only 2 minutes in.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
And y'all done got me on the pre-show.
Yeah. Your cup is quite empty. Now, your cup was bigger than mine.
Let me tell y'all, this is one of my favorite things to get the hot cocoa here from Prohibition. So we halfway in.
How many milligrams you sitting at right now?
This is 30 milligrams. So this made me feel real chill.
So you feeling like I'm feeling right
feeling
now.
good. I'm good. You know, I'm a G, but I'm just saying I'm feeling good.
Yeah, it does. It does something to your spirit.
It do.
This is dangerous because it's nice and warm.
Mm-hmm. And it's good too, ain't it?
It just snuck up on me.
And it's like you can't stop. Even though you know it's taking you to a higher plane. It's like having a bad chick and you know she toxic, but it's like, damn.
Can't leave her alone.
This the big booty and a smile in the cup.
Baby, I'm back.
Hey.
That's what this is. Don't trust it.
Don't trust it. Tell us about Vicki Street. For those that don't know, who's Vicki Street?
Well, you know, it's your girl, Vicki Street. I'm the rap goddess from the Chi.
Okay.
I've been MCing on stages for over 10 years. And, you know, before I was doing my own music, like literally I was just hyping up the crowd in the party. So, you know, I just do a lot of different things. People be asking me, like, what don't you do? And I've been trying to come up with something witty to say. But, you know, with all praise and glory to God, I'm going to just say I do all things through him. But I also don't do things that I know I'm not good at. So I ain't got time to do nothing else, you know?
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
Usually when people ask me what I'm not good at, what I don't do, I say crack.
Yeah, you got to come up with something like that.
That's a good option.
Yeah.
If you're not going to do some things, like crack should be at the top of your list.
Right.
You feel me? All right, Vic, you know what I'm saying? Well, welcome to the Come Smoke With Me podcast. Clearly, you know what I'm saying, you're a smoker.
I do be indulged.
You indulge?
I do indulge.
Papers or blunts?
Papers. You know, I like, it's like a Brita filter for your weed.
A Brita filter?
Yeah.
So you don't do like the backwoods and the tobacco and stuff like that?
It's not my choice, but
Okay.
you know, if I run out of papers, like there was a time I ran out of papers and I just had all of these woods, like all these like pre-cut leaf joints. And that's how I learned how to roll backwoods. And that's also how I learned how to roll papers. I was put in a situation both times, like the first time with the papers, my friend was like, I'm not rolling these for you no more. You gonna have to learn how to roll them yourself. So that's honestly how I learned how to roll everything. Like everybody was just like, nah, you gonna have to learn.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
How was your first couple backwoods when you rolled them? Was they weak as hell? Or?
Nah, them joints was raw. They was pearl
Okay.
for sure.
Okay.
You did say you good at everything you do.
Okay.
I mean, I just feel like I'm the type where like I can watch something. I could sit back and watch, have my hands behind my back. I'm like, all right, I'm watching for sure. And by the time it's my time, I just feel like it don't take that many times after that. But I also think I'm like a tactile learner, so I just learn by doing.
Yeah.
I'm definitely hands-on with the ish. You feel me? So what inspired the musical drive, from the DJing to the artistry to even wanting to, you know what I'm saying, do the podcast? What inspired all that?
I just feel like it was my birthright. Like, I'm born into this. I come from a family where whatever I want to do, I'm very supported in it.
That's dope.
And so, like, I grew up playing piano, played that, started playing that when I was like in kindergarten. And then I picked up saxophone, and that's my primary instrument. So I started playing that in 4th or 5th grade and continued it on through high school. And then when I got to college, I wanted to like reinvent myself, because I was like, am I really about to? And this is something, I feel like I don't say this often, but like that was a pivotal moment going from high school to college, because I was a section leader in band and I had the opportunity to have a full ride scholarship if I went to like a HBCU or did something musically. But I wanted to rebrand and expand myself, and I didn't just want to be known as like the band geek or spending all my time in 6 a.m. rehearsals and going to rehearsal after school. So, you know, I kind of took a back seat on the playing my instrument for some years, because when I got to college, I was like, I just want to be so expanded in this. Like, so I went to school for journalism, but then I feel like I put my own spin on that, because journalism, like, I just didn't want to be seen as somebody in a suit jacket or something like that, like a talking head on a screen. I wanted to, you know, expand that. I looked up to a lot of different people who we see in urban media. Like, no matter if you are somebody interested in journalism or media, period, I definitely understand the effects that urban media has had on our culture. You know, growing up watching like a lot of music programs and stuff like that. And for me, growing up listening to radio. So to bring it full circle, you ask, like, how did I get into this whole music thing? Like, I'm not even going to hold you. Like, growing up listening to different radio people, like, I can shout out Power 92. I got to shout them out. Like, that was like my first hip hop station I remember growing up listening to. And like between that and like watching things like 106 and Park, I'm like, how y'all made it so every kid low-key want to be on TV?
Come on,
like, and I love cartoons. And so, you know, blending all of that together, like me playing music, me loving rap music, me having an older brother who put me on to like Biggie and Tupac, me studying words, aka journalism, me being a preacher's kid and getting up and doing testimony service, like that's the mic in hand right there. Me being encouraged to say how I feel and be who I want to be by my parents. You know, it just all wove up into one person that's like, here I am now. You know, got stories, been through a lot, but here I am now.
Hey, first off, a baddie with a saxophone, you can never lose with that.
Hey, you can't.
And you know, and I'm just gonna smoke to being a well-rounded motherfucker. Let's do that.
And we go, for sure. So I want to ask, so woman to woman, right? Well, everything that you've experienced and accomplished, you said you went to college and you know you rebranded yourself. So for the girls out there that's like feeling the same way, feeling like they want to rebrand themselves, feeling like they got big dreams and goals and aspirations in life, what advice would you give them, especially if they don't, because you say you had a big support system. So like, especially if they don't have that type of support system, what advice would you give them to keep pushing to make sure they reach their fullest potential?
Honestly, I would tell them to look towards music and other things that they feel like help heal them, and turn to some hobbies too, some healthy hobbies, especially hobbies that make you turn within. So I remember growing up, I was gifted a lot of things like Bibles and journals, and I thought that was low key lame, because I'm like, dang, what the clothes at the name brand clothes and stuff. Right. But like, you know, now I appreciate journals. Like I got so many notebooks and journals, and those are things like going to the lake and writing, sitting in my car and writing. Those have been things where it's like, I've been able to call that self-care now, and it's very healing. I understand a lot of people are not privileged or maybe don't have like resources to pay for things like therapy. But doing things like, I'm about to do some aromatherapy, I'm about to write my notebook right now, you will find, and I was saying all this to say, like, I would suggest a lady could turn to music, because I got deeply in music. And this is another story. We're going to have some stories today. But I really got deeply in music, I would say, second semester of my freshman year of high school, because, like, my family, we moved from a white neighborhood to a black neighborhood. But before that, we was living in a black neighborhood. And so, basically, it was my first time living in a place where nobody looked like me. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to freshman year in high school. That's kind of rough, because, like, we was already going to freshman year, but now we got to go to this whole big school that, like, I'm seeing people that don't look like me. So I felt like I had to get back to my roots, whatever that was. And I was just in a pivotal place of elevating and growing just as a young girl. And so I turned to music. That's when I started getting heavily into, like, Biggie. I know Notorious B.I.G. ain't a lady, but, like, just on the blackness tip, like, I started getting heavily into that Ready to Die album. I was like, I always seen this album with the little baby, but, like, let me see what it is. Then I'm like, I've always seen the Miseducation of Lauryn Hill album. Looks like a cool album. Let me delve into that. Mm-hmm. So I started getting into whole artist discographies just based out of my curiosity, because I don't want to say I was bored, but it was a void. And I had nothing but time and the wherewithal and curiosity to just want to just go deeper inside, because once again, I was looking for myself. I was challenging myself to look for a certain part of myself that I had never known. And I had nothing but time, space, and opportunity. So, you know, that would be my suggestion to ladies. But then also, YouTube is free. So get on there and maybe look for some other ladies who are where you want to be. And brownie points if you can reach out to them and they actually respond back to, because that's a whole nother story. Mm-hmm. But that's just some of my advice.
That's what's up. That's what's up. So how was it, you know what I'm saying, diving into your DJ bag? Because, you know, we gonna touch every element of Vicki Street. How was it spinning on 95.1 for the first time? Streets 95.
Hey, look, shout out to Trey the Chocolate Jock, for real. So when I was saying, like, I grew up listening to Power 92, he was one of the DJs that I would always listen to. And I remember this because I remember his jingle. He had that, "It's Trey the Chocolate Jock, yeah, blowing up the spot. Yeah, Power 92 got it on lock." Yeah. Everybody know. If you was from Chicago, you know that joint. Know. So he had texted me, and this was a couple days before New Year's, and he was like, "I need a mix for New Year's Eve." And it's crazy. This is another good story. Hold on. This is actually crazy that he called me, because I had got asked to do a New Year's Eve gig, but I already was feeling like, you know what? I kind of want to chill on going to the club. Like, and I was saying, yo, if I ain't getting booked to be outside for New Year's, I'm in the crib. Or better yet, I'm going to go to church. Because this year, I just been on something different. Like, sometimes when you got a certain path, you know where you trying to be at, you got a goal you trying to reach. Sometimes you got to pull back from doing things that you would normally do. Mm-hmm. And I wanted to spend my New Year's Eve in church. So it was crazy because I ended up being able to do all that I was trying to do. He like, yo, I just need like basically like an hour mix. And I was able to turn down this other gig, send somebody else to do it, my DJ apprentice. And actually, he just had me send in a mix. I was able to, like, do it virtually. Okay. Now we talking behind the scenes. So I know a lot of people know how DJ mixes go, and some people, they don't. But it's magic in radio. Yeah. But for this, I was able to still go and experience church and still be with my family and just be like, yo, I'm cool on the club, y'all. And still have my mix on the radio that day. And it's cool because we actually listened to that mix at this reflection party that I was at with a bunch of women. Mm-hmm. Well, you know, we over here getting ourselves together, sharing things, getting deep. And at the end of it, I was like, oh, it's 5 o'clock, y'all. My mix on. So we was able to turn that mix on. And after that, left, hit church, and it's all good. And we in the new year now. So that's a long story as far as how that happened.
Dope shit, though. You know what I'm talking about? Listen. Yeah. Trey is a good motherfucker, man. I learned a lot from him through radio. I actually had the privilege of being his producer at nighttime when he was doing the night show. You know, and we had the crew in there, and he was always so next level with creating the skits, Them Damn Rats, and you know, just the way he approached radio. So salute going out to Trey the Chocolate Jock.
sure.
I know definitely he smoked something, my brother. Smoked something. You feel me?
For sure. So I got a question. So how do you feel like we influences your creativity?
It do it all the way. It induces it. Like, I do it specifically before I'm about to write. So I'm like, I want to write some music. I want it to be fast. And I'm not saying that I'm like reliant on it, but it's fun. It's fun knowing I'm finna get some crazy bars because my mind is in a different place. And I've learned not to second guess myself just because obviously I'm in a different headspace and maybe now I'm writing something that's funny or crazy. But that's cool though, because that's when you get things like imagery. And I'm really big on that. So, you know, that's how I wrote my whole first EP, basically, like Battle Lake, In the Car, whatever. Just that's how I do. Yeah, I call it, I ain't gonna lie, my parents be laughing about this, but I call it getting closer to God. I be like, I'm about to go talk to God.
Hey, I'm with you when you write.
I like that.
For real.
I'm
like
with you
that.
when you write. I promise you.
Salute to getting close to God, for real, for
Salute
real.
to it.
Come on.
Big salute.
I feel like I can hear from God real good when I'm happy.
So that means you one of the ones that get high and start freestyling.
I mean, that's funny.
She look
I know
you look like you catch a
have.
good freestyle out of on the high
I
side.
know I probably have for sure. Yeah, that's funny as hell.
For sure.
Okay, so what's up next for Streets? Like what like, you know, outside of the DJing and being an artist, you know what I'm saying, the podcast, because we definitely gotta, you know what I'm saying, touch on the Vicki show, you know what I'm saying, the Vicki Street show, you know what I'm saying, but outside of that, you know what I'm saying, what else you got in your bag? What's coming up?
So we just ended a season for the Vicki Street Show. So we rolling out episodes right now, finishing up some post-production for that. But, you know, we're going to come out with another season too. So I'm excited about that. And also an album as well. Because it's been like 3 years now since my last full project. That was an EP. It was called With Everything Going On. And it makes sense, very befitting for that name, because it was a lot going on. It was the pandemic, you know?
Yeah.
And that was just like the black people phrase that everybody was saying. But, you know, now I kind of want to do a different type of vibe. Like, what's life like after that? What's life like? I ain't gonna say no stuff like since the fame or nothing, but like, nah, what's life like after you done learned, after you done loved, after you done elevated some more? And also we moving with the world, not just what's been going on in my life. I think that's what's so cool about artists is when you can perfectly capture what's going on in your life and what everybody else in the world is going through. That's how you gonna move that music for real. Like, if 2025 was the 80s, we'll be talking about what's going on. We'll be talking about some Marvin Gaye stuff. Like, we should all be honestly holding hands singing right now.
We should.
Yeah. But, like, that's what I'm on, though. Like, creating projects, albums, TV shorts, like, whatever. I can do whatever, honestly. So, like, just creating whatever to get messages across that need to be gotten across in a creative way.
Okay.
And like, it's so much going on in the world right now, but I'm just trying to get this art off.
Hey.
So like, that's some of what I'm working on.
Again, I'm with you when you right.
Oh, dope. Now you mentioned love and all that. So what's up? Well, yeah, you got a little boo or something. You keep your mood private. You know, if you don't got a little boo, you know what I'm saying? What's on your radar? You looking out here? You know, I'm just being nosy.
You know, you gotta ask.
Yeah.
Well, I'm being intentional right now. I could be talking to somebody for sure. But, and I'm not saying that I'm turning down that either. Like, I'm not necessarily shutting shutting that out. But I'm definitely being intentional with my time, and I'm letting people know, like, people who try to slide in, like, that's just not what I'm on right now. You know, now if you still want to stick around through all of that, it might be a possibility you could. But nah, like I referenced earlier, I got somewhere I'm trying to be.
Okay.
You know, like when you running and you trying to, like, let's say you trying to catch that flight, either you coming or you not. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm not necessarily saying if the right person approached you wouldn't be successful. But either you coming or you not. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not slowing down.
True that.
Or you're already there where I'm at.
True that.
I'm more so looking for the person who's already there,
Okay.
low key, or they're where I'm at when I'm in a stabilized, comfortable position. But see, I'm not comfortable. Which we shouldn't be anyway. We talking about complacency right now. Okay, you know, I'm not comfortable, which means I'm not settled in my spirit. But I desire to be settled in my spirit. And I just believe, you know, as somebody who's still getting themselves together to be like the best version of a woman that I want somebody to have, I believe there's somebody right now that's being prepared in their own life for it too. So I don't even trip. Yeah. They already actually might be potential. Okay. I'm just saying. Okay. But either way, we're going to meet. And I've met some people in some of the most craziest situations, but it meant we was both supposed to be there, obviously.
Exactly.
Just pay attention to who you meet when you in the elevator.
Girl.
Okay.
You know what
you
I'm
sound
saying?
You sound like you would be a hell of a public speaker. Like on some real shit.
Girl.
Your conversation sounds intentional.
It
sounds genuine.
That's a thing. That's a thing we further stepping into. I won't even say manifesting, but we further stepping into it this year on some intentional stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like that's just a part that come with age. Like, I turned 30 last year.
Okay.
That's crazy.
You look good.
Thank you.
You look really good.
Thank you. But turning 30 though, with that,
she said turning 30 though.
Nah, for real. Because that's a milestone age. So, like, you in between, like, you was just a baby, but now you grown.
Yeah.
You know, so coming with that, you just got to recognize, like, your voice and your influence that you have. Like, you can't just be thinking and saying anything. So, like, at this point, I just recognize that, and I think it's a cool place to be because young people, like the millennials, these are the youth. You get these people, if you get their ears, you did something.
Real shit.
Low key. So.
Real shit. Like, and 30 is like the grown step. It's like during your 20s, you know you grown, but you still get a lot of leeway for bullshit. It's like at 30, it's like, okay, this shit needs to be together. This train needs to be moving for real. So I'm fucking with you on that.
Yeah. So with that, what challenges you feel like you face? And how do you feel like you get through those?
Like with turning 30, just getting older in life. It's so many challenges that comes with just keeping on. I feel like I sounded hella old saying that, but like my mama always say, keep a living. Just keep a living. And she ain't never lied.
Nah, for sure.
It's a bittersweet time in life. And this is what I don't be talking about, but I want to talk about it more because, once again, I feel like this goes back to everybody's going through this right now. Like, people don't be talking about what they be going through. People make everything seem good on social media. But, like, some of the stuff that I've been going through, I mentioned on the good tip, all of the stuff you asked me what's coming out. We got albums and stuff like that. But I want to talk about something that I've never heard anybody talking about. But maybe if I start talking about it, other people be like, yeah, I experienced that too. There's something that I looked up. It's called anticipatory grief. That's anticipating the bad things that are going to happen. You know, and I'm not just talking about death, but that's largely relates to like what I've been dealing with. And I've been feeling this way, I would say, over the past 5 years now. And that's when like COVID started. I was living my best life. Facts. I was living the fast life. Facts. If the pandemic didn't happen, I don't know what I'd be doing right now. Everybody was on like But it knocked us back and slowed us down some. But it also revealed, like, dang, life is hella short.
Yeah.
So many people got snatched up out of here. Like, one of my best friends and one of my coworkers, both of their mom died in the same week. And I was like, what is going on? And, like, granted, COVID had just started, like, a month or so ago. And, yeah, some people got pre-existing health conditions, but it was just like, dang, it's out of nowhere. And then it's happening to everybody. And the news is newsing right now. And so it's like, you know, I'm dealing with that. And it just felt like it was getting so close to me. Like, it was, for the first time, it was so close to me. It was happening all around me. I didn't know how to deal with that. And, you know, I'm still dealing with that in my personal life, like with people I know, with family members. And it's like, I be disassociating sometimes. And I'm talking about real feelings right now because I'm in the club having an opportunity that's the moment of my life. I'm in the DJ booth. I'm controlling the party, but I'm low-key paralyzed. I don't even know.
Yeah.
Like, I'm disassociating. I'm in some of the best moments of my life, but I'm not here presently because sometimes of the stuff that be going on in my personal life. And I'm speaking to be like an advocate for people because some folks, they be trying to tell people they weird, but really some people just be having social anxiety. Like, and you don't even know, be knowing why
And
people be having it.
That's some real shit out here, though.
Yes.
Like, you can be the most popular motherfucker in the room and still, like you say, feel uncomfortable as hell. You know, it's a thing to have to experience, like everybody wanting to talk to you, and you got to be able to be cordial with everybody, you know what I'm saying, to have conversations and all that type shit, you know what I'm talking about? It's as easy as it seems, it's hard as fuck sometimes, you feel what I'm saying? So, you know, salute to you even putting that out there, I feel like, because mental health is real, you know what I'm saying, just being okay is real, and even not being okay is real than a motherfucker. A lot of us walk around with a smile every day, and we fucked up on the inside. Mm-hmm. You feel me? So salute to you for putting that shit out there, for real.
Thank you. That's why they probably say in the club we all fam. At least we need to start acting like it. For real. So I wasn't trying to get too deep, but we can be deep. Like, but also that's the weed. The weed be doing that. Like, I don't know if the weed do that to y'all, but like the weed sometimes make me like an introspective yapper. So sometimes I gotta put that disclaimer out here, like, the weed hitting. That's how you know it's hitting.
That's how you know it's hitting.
Like that.
And it's motherfucking 30 milligrams.
But that's see, now you know.
I don't even know at this point. You feel me? Like, this shit is different.
I'm the type of smoker where I don't know why I do this, but I always be like, "Are you high? Are you high too?" It's like, duh, nigga, we smoking. It's so funny.
It's still fucking going. You know what I'm talking about? So, who's some of the dope people you've been able to have on the show, though?
Well, this past season, I've interviewed people like Primo Rice. First of all, I do an on-set and an in the streets edition, so that's pretty cool. Like, cause people be. You already know, you better get that interview, boy. I pull up, you know what I'm saying? So, I done had people like Primo Rice on there, Chanel True, Pauls, Eddie, who else? Sigma Chris, a lot of people from the city, like major just heavy hitters from the city, J-Mal Green, like, and it stretches from things like politics to footwork, and was the last episode we did, to different DJs. So, you know, I'm just trying to further progress the city on, but also give a platform to people who voices we need to hear more, or stories that just would be so raw to uncover.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
Facts.
Yeah. So what do you feel like, you know, and going back to even the mental aspect, what do you feel like people can do, you know what I'm saying, to actually get out of that space? Or what's some things that's worked for you to get out of that space? You know what I'm saying? When you find yourself in your head too much. Because I've definitely been there. Like you said, I'm out of town DJing one of the biggest parties in Houston or Phoenix, and I'm known as that dude that's going to come go crazy. You feel me? Mm-hmm. And I find myself up there so in my head about everything that's going on and the moment, to where it's like, damn. Now but you don't want it to affect your performance at the end of the day. you know, you don't want to reflect that, I'll say. So how do you cope with that type shit?
Well, I mean, thankfully I talk to my parents about this. Like I said before, everybody don't have a support system, or, you know, those people just might not be in their life anymore. But, you know, I got two very spiritual parents who they got game for everything I'm going through in life. And then they end up relating it to the scripture too as like a backing reference. And so it's like, and that's the beautiful thing about it, because when they're no longer here, I'm going to still have that as a reference. I got a whole Bible, a manual that I can be like, my daddy told me a scripture about this. I think that's raw. But also just in the, you know, non-spiritual sense, like I got other support systems like homegirls who, you know, I got a homegirl today. She just hit me the other day, just checking in, you know. You ain't got to do no long convo. Sometimes you just got to check in on somebody. And so I make sure I have people like that. But then also giving gratitude does something for your mental health. You'd be surprised. When you really feel like you going through it, just being like, let me flip that real quick. Let me think myself happy. Let me reach out to somebody. Just check in on them. Let me donate hella shoes and hella clothes. Let me pull up and cook for a friend who I know his mama ain't here no more. Like, when you do and sow acts of gratitude, it makes you feel better. But then you turn around and now you just getting blessed. It's your time now, you know? So the people who I've looked up to when I was trying to figure out, like, how did they get what they get? How are they where they are now? They have all mentioned gratitude. And I used to just shrug that off like, nah, I got to be something else. Is it something I can go back? Like, they be like, nah. Some steps you just can't skip. And I think gratitude is one of them.
There you go. There you go. Look, she dropping jewels in this motherfucker.
Definitely is.
All right, so if a movie was made about your life, what situation would be the climax of the movie? Like current, like to the. Oh, we back. We back. Siri going wild. But yeah, like, and up until this point, we know you got a lot more living to do, right? But real shit, if somebody came and they wanted to make a movie about your life, what situation would be the climax of the movie? Like, to where you feel like you arrived, if it was a great thing, or, well, we want it to always be great. But what would be the climax of the movie? You might need to hit the blunt on this.
Nah, I think if I had a movie about my life, the climax of the movie would rest somewhere in between the fact that I have a very big moment. Like, let's say I get booked to perform at the Grammys or something like that. Mm-hmm. And maybe I'm like having an after party or something like that for whatever. I'm having a situation. It'll be one of the underlying themes of the movie. It'll either be one or multiple people trying to spin the block on me. Like literally. And they probably gonna try to come to the party and they gonna get hit with the, excuse me, are you on this list? And then they gonna probably try to say, yeah, no, I'm here for shorty. Yeah, no, we don't see you on that joint. You gonna have to, yeah. And so the whole movie, they running, trying to get into, you know, to this string of events or the event, because now they realize, you know, how valuable the possession was.
They fucked up.
Yeah.
They fumbled the bag.
They running with flowers down the street trying to, and everywhere they go, they, you know, they seeing what's going on. They trying to slab, but, you know, it's a little too late. So they just hoping maybe there's an inkling in my heart that would, you know, try to spin back. So we would just have to see. Now, the good thing about movies is we love a good sequel.
What's part 2?
I definitely could see a part 2 in it. But see, it's like we can't let the antagonist win. You know what I'm saying? That's the thing about spinning the block, though. Like,
so do you spin the block, first and foremost? Relationships, friendships, businesships, do you spin the block? Are you a block spinner?
I think about it.
Taj, are you a block spinner?
I think about it.
Oh,
Because you have to think about it.
Literally.
You know, do nothing without intention. Okay.
Literally.
But because some blocks is worth spending. That's why it's the steering
Hello.
wheel is made in a circle. I'm just saying. And the thing about them blocks, they gonna spin. Okay. So it's just funny because the thing about them blocks is you have another opportunity to get it right.
yeah.
Or to make yourself over, or to correct the mistake. But the thing is, I ain't spending no block if wasn't nothing changed.
Okay.
Yeah. There we go.
You see what I'm saying?
I'm not spinning the block if the energy ain't at a certain level, if both parties ain't willing to get in the ring and fix where they fucked up or fight for it. Like it's some stipulations to fucking spinning the block. Like I was saying, man, stipulations would come to spinning the motherfucking block.
You hear me?
You feel me? You don't just instantly get spin the block privileges. Okay. What that look like for you?
You got to be coming with a lot. I ain't gonna hold you. Like, Munyon and then some. I'm just saying. Like, you gotta be, but besides that, you gotta be coming with changed behavior. It was always given that. It was always given accountability. It was never given you had to be perfect the first time around. You just had to be real and consistent. And that's all women be wanting for real. So like, it's a lot of people, you know, who might have thought they was on my heels right now, but you was inconsistent. So you no longer.
Message.
And then I'm just saying. And then, you know, it's people, it's the audacity of people to try to spin the block too, because it's like, no, it definitely don't need to be you, because remember what you said. You know, it's so funny some people want to spin the block. And then you just get all the others, just the you want to be then and you want me now, and I was cool on you, you know, because I had to get myself right together and get on my own destiny. Just, it's so many different type of spin the block situations, but either way, when I tell you this past year, every single person who I done talked to or they wanted to, they didn't all spin the block. Like,
right.
It's crazy. So that's why when you ask, like, what would be like the climax or something like that, shoot, the climax, this would be a funny climax though. The climax would be like, shoot, I got an event or something like that, and like just everybody who trying to like not be left out of my life no more, you know, is they trying to get in. You know what I'm saying? Because that's been a current theme in my life, is just like revoking access and people also trying to spin the block because they feel like they might lose access to you. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's hilarious. But sometimes you got to revoke somebody access though. So when you ask, would you spin the block again in situations like that? So in situations where, because we should ask ourselves. So I asked myself, self, do you think you should spin the block?
Okay.
If you wasn't you, when you
have
was
a
telling
meeting?
your friend, I'd be like, what would you tell your best friend? Because you know what that dude did. So would you advise that? And I asked myself that, and then I'd be like, remember how they played in your face? And then I have my answer. And then, you know, that's how I come to that. So I ain't trying to be messy. I'm just saying, like, these are situations that I deal with on a daily. And so, but to also further answer your question, yes, I'm not saying I would spin the block specifically on someone who has been in my life, but I'm saying like there's a possibility that I would spin the block on somebody if they was coming different. My thing is, if you had me before, then you already know what I want. But also, you just might have to get reacquainted too.
Yeah, sometimes motherfucker got to relearn you.
Yeah.
Even when a motherfucker think they know you after a certain amount of time, motherfucker got to relearn you. Because we evolving on a regular.
Exactly.
Around.
We growing. So I give grace, if that helps. As an additive too, I do give grace. But, you know, at a certain point, you cannot disrespect yourself either. Like, you know what I'm saying? Got to know your self-worth. And in that token, that just means that you got to allow yourself to be open to receiving the one that is for you then. Can't let somebody be in that parking spot and you trying to get somebody else in it. You know, you got to clear that spot, you know?
Let's get it.
Yeah.
So how would you know when you open to receive though?
Well, I know personally I know how I'm open to receiving new love, and that is a cognizant like choice. Like it was an intentional choice that I made that I always wasn't at. Especially like when you go through a breakup, sometimes you can be closed off from love and receiving new people. But I made a decision that I didn't want to be a bitter black woman at such a young age.
Okay.
I'm like, it's not giving that.
Salute to not being a bitter black woman.
It's not. That's not even the energy I want. Okay. Why does it have to give that just because you went through a separation?
Nah, facts.
Separations don't always have to be bad. They can be beautiful.
Yeah.
So I am learning that too in life. You know, sometimes with separation comes elevation.
Yeah.
That don't mean you can't backtrack. But that don't even sound right though in the same sentence.
It don't.
And sometimes after you done came so far, and thank God for it, the door is closed. The bridge. Sometimes it's okay. You know what I'm saying? So to tie into the whole spinning the block, and we not always talking about on a romantic relationship level, even on a business level, you know, or whatever type of level, sometimes, you can't spin the block because it literally would be for your downfall. Like, can't do it.
Yeah.
So when you ask me, like, what makes you not do that? Sometimes I take myself out of the equation. I'm like, I can't do that. You know what I'm saying?
Take me out the chat.
I won't do that.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
Yeah.
Facts.
I agree. She dropping a lot of jewels over here.
And you gotta read in between the lines. I told y'all like this past year I wanted to like really focus more so on my spirituality. Like and when I say it, I'm not just saying it because it sound good, you know, like really practicing it. So that kind of looks like to me when we talking about would you go back to certain things, that also goes to like consulting with God too. Like sometimes you just can't do something. You know what I'm saying? Because it works well in your favor when you actually, like, go through and you listen to that, you know? So, I'm just on some, if you know the stove is hot, why you still trying to touch it?
Being hard-headed.
Being hard-headed. Toxic.
You know what they say. Hard-headed make a soft ass.
You feel what I'm saying? So, now we going to try to keep our blocks spun to a minimum. For real.
Nah, for real.
I love the fact you put God first.
Nah, yeah.
You know what I'm talking about, you speak with a sense of spirituality, like, you know what I'm saying? Do you see like yourself ultimately like doing something in the church?
You know, I won't say never. But my thing is, I never wanted to like, because my parents always said like, every person who done grew up like they family was spiritual, they always say you gonna be a pastor, you know, you gonna do this and that, and I'm like, I promise you, because
you got some first lady vibes on you right now, or a pastor or something.
No, thank you.
Nah, it's just my parents, like I grew up in that for sure. Like both of my parents were pastors, but you know we live a different life now. Like you know they haven't pastored in some years, but like. It's in you. You know what I'm saying? And it's in you and not on you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's so funny because for Halloween this past year, I had got asked to host Queen Key's like party. She had a Halloween party. So I had hosted it, and the choice of outfit that I showed up in as my character, I was Evangelist Red Jacket. If anybody know that comedian lady on Instagram, she funny, like hella funny. She be going everywhere evangelizing. She pull out a microphone out her back pocket, and have on a whole red jacket and be like, just, you know, getting them. And so people in the club, it was so funny because they had recognized me. It was like, first of all, the bouncer was so confused, like, because I really played up the character. I brought this whole church lady purse with a Bible in my church, like in my purse. I bought a microphone in. Like the bouncer was confused. He was like, "Are you trying to be in here? You coming in today? Like what's going on?" I said, "Yes, I'm going in here. I'm evangelizing." Boy, the dudes was in there. He was like, "I saw you had that long skirt on. I didn't know what was going on, but I said, man, I really respect her." And then some people thought I was Oprah in there. But some people also knew I was the character. Though. It was so funny. But it kind of felt like a social experiment to me up in there. But I did that because I ultimately wanted to have a conversation like we're having now. Like, you know, doing things like that and not explaining your whole background to it. But then when you get to come on a podcast and be like, You know, that's a way where we can have conversations about spirituality, religion, on a smoking podcast, which is something that God put in the earth. He made all of this stuff. So why y'all trying to act uptight about all this taboo stuff? It's crazy. Like, weed is legal. You feel what I'm saying? It's not legal everywhere. People still in jail. That's crazy. But it allows us to have conversations like this. The earth is the Lord and the fullness thereof. We can have conversations like this. My thing is, when you ask me this, I don't have to wear a long skirt and some stockings to be doing and talking about this stuff. And I don't have to be in church every single Sunday. Like, God is not about the entity that you going into. He's in you. You know what I'm saying? Like, church is in us.
Right.
Church, you know what I'm saying? Preach church, you know what I'm saying? So, like, I just said, I'm going to do it my own way. You know what I'm saying? So it's Easter eggs, places. If you look, like, for the people, shout out to the people who notice when they go on my Instagram and it says God's secret weapon.
Yeah.
You know, in the bio.
I was looking at that.
You overlook that, but then it kind of make you wonder. And it's like, yeah, I got a story. You know what I'm saying? Like, I grew up seeing people run around the church. I'd be like, what they done went through? Because I was wondering, why was you running around the church? But as my mama told me, like, you don't know what them people been through. Them people been through something.
Okay.
My thing is, I'm not going to say it look like that for everybody when they getting a deliverance, but, like, it's going to look like something for me. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But, like, just even having conversations like this is so healing, because I would say it's a part of me that I've kind of suppressed a little bit, because I navigate like the entertainment and nightlife space and like media space and music space, and as we know, this has notoriously been like it ain't been that, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's we look at it as the secular industry, you know, but the fact of the matter is there's a lot of secular people who still get down with God. They still either practice a religion or they believe in a higher power, or, you know, they just trying to heal themselves.
True.
So I think conversations like this is always needed, because, like, this brings about that full circle moment. So I hope that kind of answered your question.
Yes, it did. Yes, it did. Yes, it did.
I'm evangelizing through rap, if you will. You know, we keeping it real. Rap is supposed to be about talking about the times. Yes. You know, so that's how we should look at it. And that's a whole nother conversation if y'all want to get into it. Like,
I know. I can relate. I feel like, you know, God blessed me with a voice. You know what I'm saying? Whether that's for music or radio or whatever. And no, the church may not be my congregation, but the streets, they listen to me. They listen to me, and I resonate with them. So I fucks with you on that. You feel me? All right. I think it's time to let them know. Every you know, every show, we tap in with the artist or, you know, producer or radio personality, podcaster or whatever, and say, you know, what's the biggest misconception that people may have about you? You gotta let them know.
Ooh, that's a good question.
Let them know. What's the biggest misconception, and whether you care to clear it up. Ooh, 420. Sheesh. Whether you care to clear it up or not, but what's the biggest misconception people have about you? Let them know.
I mean, I don't know if I would know what that is, because I don't know what people are thinking per se. But I think I'm a really cool person to get to know. And there's so much that's within me, but I think I just have a blended life experience that has, you know, made me who I am today. But I don't know what people's misconception would be per se, but I don't know. I don't know. Further delve into the question. Maybe I could help answer it a little bit better.
No, just, you know, whatever somebody may have misconcepted at one point, like maybe she's stuck up, she's mean, she's whatever, you know what I'm saying? Whatever.
Even a misconception of you gonna be the church girl. Or the
you know, even with that, yeah.
I feel like I'm very much so what you see is what you get for the most part. You know what I'm saying?
There
like,
we go.
Even like earlier, like you were saying, like, wow, like I'm not gonna say you said I was very well spoken, but you said something like, you know, you dropping gems, like, dang, you know, and it's like, yeah, I am, and you know, I can agree to that, and I'm aware of that, and that's a blessing because it wasn't always like this, you know, but I did always know I had something I wanted to say.
Come on.
But see, that's the beauty about growth is when you grow, eventually babies, their babbles turn into sentences, you know? And I think that's the beautiful thing about it. So I'm where I'm at right now, and I know that, like, I'm a powerful person, but I'm a young person too who has been stepping and stepping and stepping and stepping. And now, boom, 30. Then brought about a whole nother type of thing for me. Like I said, I just turned it. I'm not even far into the 30s just yet, so we'll just have to see more of what's to come. But, like, I think to answer your question, like, maybe that may have been a misconception. She's not ready. She's too this. She's not enough of this. She's too church for the streets. She too church for the club. She be sneaking in gospel songs on her DJ mix. You know what I'm saying? Like,
them the best ones.
She didn't had the club saying amen. She was bopping in the club in the evangelist suit, like, for Halloween. Like, what is going on? You know, or on the church end, let's flip it. Like, nah, she too vulgar for the church. You know, I heard her cuss. Like, now she on a weed podcast. I done messed around and found that out. Like, we're not hiding anything.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the funny part about it. Like, you know, I can't help that I sit at the intersection of all of these places, but what I do know is that I'm proud that I've started vocalizing a lot of these things, and I accept that about myself, and I like to use that to the best of my abilities as leverage, because ain't nobody gonna be me better than me.
Okay.
You know what I'm
Come
saying?
on, man.
So when you ask me about misconceptions, I don't know what the misconceptions are. If it get back to me, that's crazy.
That's
I'ma just
crazy.
boomerang it back. But, like, it's funny because people not gonna sit up and tell you they have a misconception to your face. They just gonna act crazy.
Okay.
And then they gonna gaslight you about it to your face on top of that. But, you know, like, I don't know. I don't know, but I don't know. I'm rambling. I got the Coco is doing this.
Coco is Cocoing. All right, man. You know what I'm talking about. You know what it is. Another episode of Come Smoke With Me. It's been a motherfucking blast having you on deck. You know what I'm saying? How can the people follow the movement? How can they keep up with everything you got going on? Because we want to be in your business. Okay. Because I think
going on, girl?
we got to continue beyond this podcast. We got to continue to be able to enjoy everything you do bring, the talent with the DJing, the music, the podcast, and even, you know what I'm saying, putting the dope word that you putting out here. You feel me? Touching on the, you know, different things like the mental health and, you know, spirituality, and, you know, even, you know what I'm saying, spinning the block. It's always dope to be around somebody that can speak some knowledge, and that's an open book at the end of the day. You feel me? So salute to that. How can the people follow you though?
For sure. Well, you can go to IG. You know, we love a good IG. It's Vicki Street on IG. VICKI Street, like what we be in. And then I had a Twitter. I know you was talking about Twitter before this.
Yeah,
like, literally,
man.
somebody just hacked my Twitter.
I'm fucked up.
But I got another joint. That's why you got to keep you playing bees and shit on deck. So you can follow me on Twitter at Vicki Street Show. What else? You hit the website, VickiStreet.com. My YouTube be cracking, you know. Hit my YouTube, Jump Street Entertainment. We got music videos on deck, all types of things. So, yeah.
Let's get it.
Okay.
Now, you know you can't go nowhere just yet, because we got a dope ass performance coming up in just a second. You know you got to do your shits, but Taj, let them know where they can find you.
Y'all already know y'all can find me at IconicTaj on all platforms.
That's what's up. Holla at your boy Chiblizz on everything. You already know. Download that Live 365 app, My Radio Chicago. Follow me everywhere. CHIBLIZZ. That's BLIZZ. All right. Remember, through every dark night, it's a brighter day after that. So no matter how hard it gets, stick your chest out, keep your head up, and deal with it. Come smoke with me.
Yes, sir.
Support your local weed man. You know what I'm saying?
Get it.
Let's get it.
Don't you? Ain't gonna chip no more. Don't you? That I ain't gonna chip no more. I just can't quit tripping over the future. What we could have been. Oh, could all be so simple. I just can't quit tripping over the future. What we could have been. Oh, could all be so simple.
Now at this point I'm so poppin', I ain't gotta use no hashtags. Bands too big for my Balenciaga glass bag. Hoes can stay mad, been shining since undergrad. Why would I trade in my Benz for something average? I don't need a badge, face card, get us in the club for free section reserved. Under me, I ain't going if we ain't VIP secured it with me, whether you see him or you don't. I ain't going back and forth with no bitch. This ain't no Aaliyah song. Too grown to be tolerating little Duvals and niggas draws. You can have a piss in the halls. My crib decked out with cars, Picasso's just because. Took the private elevator up the back, so I ain't got a wall model when I do, like a thorough breezy do. I might hit the booty do while I'm rocking my Daisy Dukes. G5 when I fly, it's only 2 up in the coupe. I always wanted to be me, I be inspiring the youth.
Quit tripping over the future. What we could have been. Oh, could all be so simple. I just can't quit tripping over the future. What we could have been. Oh, could all be so simple.
Verse 2. Banana peel opposite when I pimp down the street. What you might call an entourage, be my embassy. Sitting behind her like her name is Recliner. She got 99 niggas lined up to dine her. Your absence don't mean a hill of beans. Got them huffing and puffing. Get with you a black girl, no Hillary Duffin. Angel dust snuffing. They addicted to my act right. You up in my face, you must be single tonight. And get over the fact we pulling up in separate Cadillacs. Got my foot up in the door, now my feet is in Dior. Pulling up to the awards. Had to take my mama from that Ford Edge to a Jag. Walking where the party at out the back of the Lincoln Ave. Savage as a sage, ain't gotta worry about no doggy bag. Chef making fresher than hello. When I pull up to the crib, where's my bib? I'm richer than Aunt Viv, like my powder on with hers and his.
Catch me slipping, I ain't tripping for real. For real, tripping for real. For real, tripping for real. You can't catch me slipping, I ain't tripping for real. For real, tripping for real. For real,
I just can't quit tripping over the future. What we could have been. Oh, could all be so simple. I just can't quit tripping over the future. What we could have been. Oh, could all be so simple. And I just can't get over you and all those things we used to do. That's why I'm tripping. Yeah, baby, I'm tripping. And I just can't get over you and all those things we used to do. That's why I'm tripping.
Watch your step, little baby, watch your step. Watch your step, watch your step, little baby, watch your step. Watch your step. Do your dance, little baby, where you at? 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 Watch your step, little baby, watch your step. Watch your step, watch your step, little baby, watch your step. Watch your step. Do your